like getting hit by buses, getting blown up, crushed by space stations. You'd think that with all that force, the hood would fly off at least.
Kenny had the worst luck out of anybody. Like, his whole job was to just die. Sprout a couple uncoherent lines and then have some type of final destination freak accident, and then he's gone. That was Kenny's whole role in the show.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question. Is this really you, gang, or you trolling?
Yo.
What's good? It's your boy, Crash Out Gabe. We in a bit with another one. Today we are tapping into what cartoon characters who hide their faces look like. So if you like what your boy is doing, you feeling what we got going on here, tap in, join the family. We are welcoming. So without further ado, let's tap in.
Do you remember those cartoons where you had to tilt your head almost 180 degrees just to get a glimpse of a character's face, but you still couldn't? Personally, I even thought the TV wasn't big enough, but apparently it was just the producers creating a mystery on purpose for different reasons. At some point, we got 3-second face reveals, or sometimes had to dig through movies, action figures, and anniversary specials just to catch a glimpse of these hidden characters. They were very easy to miss and forget about, but finding their real faces back then felt like a huge discovery and got me really excited. That's why I put them all together in this video, and I hope it brings you as much relief as it did to me the first time I saw each one of these hidden faces. Starting with Tom's owner in the original Tom and Jerry shorts, Mammy Two Shoes. I always wondered why she was only shown from the waist down in every single appearance. All we saw were those worn out slippers and apron, and props to the producers for making it work.
Hey, Tom and Jerry is one of those shows, like back in the day, they used to have a lot of shows where you didn't even need to talk. Let's be real. You literally, the action and what was going on was more than enough. So, yeah, they made that last for a while. Tom and Jerry's still a staple to this day, and they don't got no voice. It's just a whole bunch of accent sounds. This is when like orchestras were really heavy into cartoons and the music and the scenes and everything was set. Now everything is punchlines and the next joke, and I mean, I like either way. I support it either way. I'm down for it both ways, but just food for thought.
So much so that she appeared in 18 other cartoons like Puss Gets the Boot, The Bowling Alley Cat, Baby Puss, and Springtime for Thomas, and became one of the most recognizable characters in the franchise, despite having no clue what she actually looked like. But we got to see her face in some very rare Tom and Jerry shorts like Time Pal, Mouse Cleaning, and Saturday Evening Puss. And every single time, it was so short that you could miss it if you weren't paying full attention. Seriously, I remember watching Saturday Evening Puss, but I only found Mammy Two Shoes was in it years later when someone pointed it out. Anyway, there's a theory that the show producers only showing her from the waist down was less about being mysterious and more about reducing her identity as a black woman. That's a big speculation, by the way, but it's not totally far-fetched given the reputation.
Oh, right now. That's her face right there. She's definitely a black woman. That is not undenying that. And they used to have a lot of little like racist jabs back in these old school cartoons. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but Mickey Mouse was like back in them Jim Crow era. So Mickey Mouse it got some deeper meaning. We might have to look into the history of Mickey Mouse as well on here.
Of the Hollywood writers, specifically that 1940s era. What we do know for sure is that by 1953, she was scrubbed out of the series after massive protests about the racial undertone, and the white couple that replaced her had their faces shown on camera from day one. It's a pretty clear indicator that there's always a solid reason for characters not having faces. That's why it was hard for me to understand why Kenny McCormick from South Park had...
Oh yeah, I seen Kenny. You barely could understand what he was saying, and as well, you never, ever seen Kenny's face. Well, I take it back. They actually showed it in, I think, what was the movie, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I think that was the name of it. But yeah, in that movie, they actually showed his face when he went to like heaven or hell. He got like blonde hair, kind of crazy little head. Matched him though perfectly.
That orange parka on 24/7 that covered his entire face and only left his eyes exposed. This kid practically died in every single episode for 5 straight seasons, and these were high-impact deaths.
You killed Kenny, you bastard! Come on now, we all know that one if you've seen South Park. You know You killed Kenny. You're a bastard.
like getting hit by buses, getting blown up, crushed by space stations. You'd think that with all that force, the hood would fly off at least.
Kenny had the worst luck out of anybody. Like, his whole job was to just die. Sprout a couple uncoherent lines and then have some type of final destination freak accident, and then he's gone. That was Kenny's whole role in the show.
Once, right? I paid attention to every single episode trying to catch something, but this guy literally held his head still through death after death, and we had to go through 2 full seasons before we finally got anything. The first time we see Kenny's full face is in the 1999 South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's when they first showed him when he came back from hell and he was talking clear with that bed hair that he had on his head.
When Kenny sacrificed his life to save the world from an apocalypse led by Satan alongside Saddam Hussein. He spent the movie getting close to Satan, convinced him that Saddam was using him, and when Satan finally stood up for himself and won, he offered Kenny one wish as a thank you. Kenny used it to undo the entire apocalypse and send everyone back to normal, knowing full well it meant going back to hell. Because of that sacrifice, he was admitted to heaven instead.
Whoa. We're going to have to blur that out. Hold on. Johnny, you trying to get me messed up on YouTube? This like my 16th video. Calm down.
That's when he pulled his hood off and said goodbye to his friends for the first time in his actual voice and ascended up to heaven. Kenny was blonde. That was it. Just a regular blonde kid under a hoodie. I can't lie, it was a bit of a letdown, because I thought he was hiding something under the hoodie and that would have made the big reveal a lot more special, but it is what it is. Producers later admitted that hiding Kenny's face was a deliberate choice because seeing his actual face would make his deaths feel real and sad rather than funny. And it makes sense, because the moment you see him terrified without the hood, it stops being a joke and becomes a child dying. After the movie, we see him without his hood a handful of times across the series. In The Tooth Fairy's Tats 2000, when he gets yanked out of his hoodie, in Super Best Friends, when a cult shaved everyone's heads, and briefly in You're Getting Old singing Happy Birthday to Stan. The great part about Kenny, though, is even people that missed the short parts where his face was revealed already saw the outline of his face and his eyes, so they could picture him a bit.
Yeah, they all look the same. All you gotta do is just throw Kyle take up the head off and throw some blonde hair on, and he's Kenny. Like it's not like complicated art styles where every character is gonna be super identifiable by specific features. Like he's literally South Park. Come on now, your expectation was a little bit high. Now it would have been crazy if they would, because he's from a trailer park. If they would threw some face tattoos on him, threw him a little teardrop on there or something like that. But that would have probably, I would have kind of accepted that. Like Kenny done been through something. That boy done died. Hey, give him, make him a little bit more rougher around the edges than the regular kids. But either way, not expectations wasn't skyrocketing with that, so that's cool.
The producers of Powerpuff Girls didn't even give us an option to guess what Miss Cerebellum looked like because the cameras were always cut off above her neck.
This one for all the girls out there that be watching the Powerpuff Girls. Like I know his characters on there. I watched I ain't act like I ain't watch it before, but I wasn't really dialed into the Powerpuff Girls and all the characters. I know what the main ones like Bubbles, Blossom. What was it, Buttercup, and then I don't know what their daddy name was, but I remember Mojo Jojo. Come on now. Mojo Jojo used to just get disrespected for no reason. My boy was just out here just trying to be a normal villain. He wasn't even too crazy. I mean, he was a little wild, but yeah, they did him dirty a lot. I remember that much.
Every single time she walked into frame, something was blocking the shot. A door frame, her own hair, a filing cabinet appearing out of nowhere at exactly the right moment. Like, hello, can we just see her face? The craziest part is that everyone in the show kept telling us how beautiful she was. The whole city was obsessed with Miss Bellum's looks while we were sitting there imagining their view. It got so bad that fans actually started making things up, like the reason we couldn't see her full frame was because the show put us in the mayor's perspective the whole time. A man who...
That is true. He's like 2'3". If we in it, so is the Powerpuff Girls. If we're looking from their perspective, you probably never ever get to see her face. All you seeing is a shadow.
only ever paid attention to her body and never her face. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense as a theory, but then the creator Craig McCracken came out and said the actual reason was way simpler than anyone expected. Miss Bellum is so tall and the mayor is so short that framing them together naturally cuts her face out of shot every single time. It was basically just a camera angle thing that accidentally became one of the biggest mysteries in cartoon history. All that theory laid to rest because the man wasn't up.
See, when you do that, like when you got a whole lore and history behind a reason why a character is that, sometimes it's just better to just go ahead and play into the lore. Because when you come like, nah, it's not that, it's this, and you just adamant on letting people know it has no meaning, it kind of takes away from the mystery and mystique, and then you know, let people believe what they want to believe. Let them come to their own conclusions. If you gonna just don't shatter it, because then the whole illusion is, oh, it's just a camera angle instead of all the reasons they said before. Just let them think it. It's easier that way. We know how it works.
To 6 feet tall. Justice for my short kings, though. Anyway, the writers finally decided to give us something in the 10th anniversary special. We got to see one of her eyes, which was even closed, her rounded chin, and some red lipstick before the camera.
Oh yeah. She definitely got some black in her though. I for sure. I ain't even pay attention, but look at the hair. It's kind of like an afro. You know what I'm saying? She actually got some lips on her. She's a sister. She's biracial. She's mixed. She's something.
Moved away. At the time, we didn't appreciate this scene. We just played it off with the hopes that we would get a full face reveal eventually. Newsflash, it never came. So we're holding on to that one eye and the chin really tight. If you close your eyes and imagine hard enough, you should be able to make out something nice from them, just like I'm doing right now. When you think face reveals can't get more underwhelming, you got someone like Father from Codename Kids Next Door. He was
Hey, that was my show, Kid Next Door. Boy, I ain't gonna lie, when Kids Next Door first came out, like we legit went outside and built us a little tree house. Like, I mean, it wasn't a tree and it wasn't a house. We built like a little box. It fit like 2 people in there. Like if you bend over, and like we was kids, so we like 11 to 12. So we'll take turns going inside there, bending over, chilling in there, and then come outside and act like we was inside of a secret base and we going on missions. Kid Next Door was the stuff, man. For real, for real.
the main villain of the entire series, and for most of its run, he appeared as a black silhouette of a man with sharp, angular features, a pipe, and a pompadour. We literally hated someone we couldn't see, just a dark outline that could set himself on fire whenever he got angry. The silhouette made him feel like something genuinely beyond normal cartoon villains, and we couldn't wait to see the demon behind it. Only to find out in Operation Zero, the series movie, that Father was just a completely regular looking man in a costume, and he's the brother of Number One's.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't finished all of the Kids Next Doors. Like, I wasn't like tuning in weekly to see it. I just catch him and we'll watch him when we watch them. But what, he was in a costume on some Scooby-Doo type stuff? That's crazy.
His father, and therefore Number One's own uncle. Finding out he had been
It was his uncle? I feel it. Number One did have the resources, so his family did come from money. Like, Number One was on, he was plugged in and everything. It's the reason why he was Number One. That's crazy.
terrorizing his family for that long exposed that it was beyond regular evil in taking over the world for him. It was more about being jealous of his brother Monty and trying to destroy his legacy. Now, next on the list is actually a double mystery. The producers of Ed, Edd and Eddy had us enjoying a show with two
Now that's an OG one. Ed, and Eddie. Ed, and Eddie, their whole goals was to get a jawbreaker. These boys was the epitome of broke. They couldn't find no way, but they never gave up. The hustle in them was strong. The hustle never led nowhere though. Like, every time they was getting close to get a jawbreaker, something would come up where they couldn't get it. Like, that was their biggest wishes to get just a jawbreaker. And them jawbreakers was ridiculously large. Like, whole head swole up like this.
faceless characters. It doesn't even make sense. Double D wore a black ski hat the entire run of the show and never took it off.
That's true. We never seen what his hair looked like.
Not once. And the few times it accidentally slipped off or got lifted, the reactions from Ed and Eddie were genuinely disturbing. Eddie shouted, "My eyes, they burn!" And Ed looked at Double D's head and asked, "Does it hurt?
Double D?
Does it hurt? That is not how you react to seeing your friend's normal hair."
But you can see though, look, check under there. Like you can see that he has like cornrows or braids or something. So I'm assuming that's probably why they asked him, did it hurt? He got like braids under there. Like, what? Did that hurt? How did they do that to your head? So I'm assuming it's something like that.
There was definitely something under that hat, and whatever it was bad enough to leave these two kids shocked. The voice actor himself suggested
I bet that boy had micro braids. That's why Eddie was getting on him. He was like, "Oh, my eyes, them things so tight." And then Ed was looking at his head and like, "Oh my God, them braids look like your brain is popping out. You good?"
at a convention that Double D might be part of a conjoined twin set that went horribly wrong. There was even a deleted scene from the series finale movie that was going to show a scar on his head, but it got cut. The creators took that secret to the grave, so we'll never know. RIP to that storyline. But thank God we at least got Eddie's brother. For the entire run of the show, Eddie talked about his older brother like the man was a living legend, a genius prankster, the coolest person alive.
His brother look just like him. Oh God, his brother look exactly like him.
Someone the whole neighborhood was apparently terrified of. His room was nailed and chained shut. Even the Kanker sisters went quiet when his name came up. We spent years imagining what this man looked like and whether he was everything Eddie said he was. The 2009 series finale movie finally took us there. The Eds crossed town and found him living in a whale-shaped trailer at an amusement park. When he stepped out, he looked exactly like an older Eddie. Same big chin and goatee, same DNA written all over his face. And for the first few seconds, it seemed like everything Eddie said was true. He looked calm and cool until he grabbed Eddie without any warning and started beating him up in front of everyone, throwing him around, talking.
He's bullying him. That's what it was. He looked up to him. I remember that episode too. That boy got a whole whale trailer at an amusement park. Like, if that's what Eddie got to look forward to, I mean, I'm his brother might can afford a Jawbreaker. That's their only goals is to get Jawbreakers. He might can plug them up. In that whale, he can afford a whale trailer, he can afford a Jawbreaker. That's my math.
Down on him like he was nothing. The whole neighborhood had spent years in awe of someone who had been breaking his little brother down since childhood. This is the moment we see that everything annoying about Eddie through the entire series, the scams, the ego, the desperate need to be liked, all came from growing up trying to earn the approval of his brother. This reveal was very important for the single reason of clearing that out. Next, we have Satoshi Nakamoto of Townsville, Wizard Kelly. He was the richest.
Hey, come on, not Proud Family. Who remember Proud Family? Drop down if you remember Proud Family in the comments. That's a top. That's a top. I watched that one when I was a kid all the time. The movie, everything. Her daddy was always trying to invent something. Keyword trying.
Man in the Proud Family universe, an eccentric billionaire who appeared regularly throughout the series but was always shown from the chin down. Sometimes a microphone would block the view, sometimes the camera angle just never went high enough. We only got to see his face twice across the entire series. Once in the Sister Spice episode where you could briefly catch it if you had your brightness turned up all the way, and the other time, with a way better view, is in the Proud Family movie when a wave of peanut butter swept through a stadium and the camera angle shifted just enough to show his face for a split second. Both reveals were so short that the mystery stayed alive even after the movie was done. And it didn't help that creator Bruce W. Smith came out after the movie and denied it was even Wizard Kelly in that scene. Instead, he said it was his stunt double. What does a stunt double for a cartoon even mean?
Even if it's a stunt double, he has to look eerily similar for it to even work out in public. So that's kind of more or less what he looks like.
Let it go, bro. Some producers make characters mysterious. Slade from Teen Titans chose mystery for himself. Slade was the most terrifying and mysterious villain in Teen Titans.
Yeah, that's the OG Teen Titans. That's not the new one, the Teen Titans Go. That's a throwback when it was serious. I realized I looked into it. They had to rebrand because it just wasn't doing as well. They changed their target audience to go a little bit younger, and it blew up.
He wore an orange and black mask everywhere, and Robin spent seasons obsessing over unmasking him. But the show never allowed it. It was like witnessing a villain get plot armor for the first time ever. In Apprentice Part 2, there was a brief shadow of his head without the mask. We saw his short, spiky hair, but nothing more. The actual reveal came in the end of Part 2, and it was not what anyone expected. A fiery enemy knocks Slade's mask off mid-fight, and underneath it is a bare skull with a single red glowing eye and a scar over the empty right socket.
Wait, Slade was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat? What?
Because at that point in the show, Slade was technically dead, being kept together by Trigon's dark magic. So the one time we
So he was Scorpion. Y'all see the similarities? Patterns.
finally see his face, it's not even his real face, just bones. And how could I ever make a face reveal list without the worst baseball player ever, Bucky McBadbat? Bucky is Chester's dad in Fairly Odd Parents. This man literally wore a paper bag over his head throughout the entire.
I don't remember Fairly Odd Parents like that. I really ain't watch it as much. But he had a bag on his head. Anybody that did watch it, you know what I mean? Did you already see his face? Like, is this gonna be news to you guys? That boy must have been so bad and embarrassed. He wore, what is that? That's like a paper bag on top of his head? That's crazy.
Time on the show. The reason was simple and genuinely sad. Bucky had been the worst baseball player in the history.
Jesus. Take it back. I see why he wearing it. Boy, look at that grill, boy. He had a whole baseball career and couldn't find a dentist with braces. Jesus.
Of the sport. His failures were so public and so humiliating that he couldn't bear to be recognized in public. So the bag was his way of existing in the world without the shame catching up to him.
Hey, he brave enough though, man. He's still out there. He put the bag on his head, but he's still stepping out. I feel like that would bring more attention than just letting people die calling you the worst baseball player. Because now they're going to recognize, oh yeah, the bag head, that's still him. Now he got a bag on his head. Now I give him something additional to pick and prod at you about. You know what I'm saying? Just stand up to it. Just accept the fact that you boongie, you know. It's all right. There's a lot of boongie out here. It's cool. Everybody got one of them. That's fine. But putting a bag on is just going to make it 100 degrees worse. So
Chester grew up with a father who hid his face every single day out of embarrassment. His face.
And then Bucky wasn't affected at all. My boy still had a good smile on his face. That ain't deter him or stop him at all.
This was finally revealed in the Fairly Idol special when Chester used Norm the genie to wish for his dad to be rich and famous again. Bucky became muscular, successful, and was finally able to take the bag off. But because it was Norm's magic, the wish backfired almost immediately, and Bucky lost everything, including the custody of Chester, before things went back to normal, including the bag. He couldn't face reality. The point of Chester covering his face everywhere he went was less about being mysterious and more about showing us what shame does to a person, the way it limits your growth in life. Everyone on this list had their faces hidden for a reason. Some were deliberate mysteries, some were marketing moves like Dr. Claw, some were creative choices that became accidental legends like Miss Bellum. But revealing them was almost always a losing game. Most of them lost so much aura the moment we saw what was underneath, except Miss Bellum, who gave us almost nothing anyways, and Kenny, who at least went out saving the world, so we'll give him that one. So, would it have been better to keep them hidden? In a way, yes, but I'll rather know what they look like than spend the rest of my life imagining, so...
See, basically right there. That what he just said is a point to it. Like, was it better to just keep them hidden, or was it better to expose them? A lot of them it kind of went bad for most people that exposed the character. So it's seeming like it's better to just let the mystery go. Let people imagine, let the story end the way you want it to end. And then later on, maybe super far, you probably can drop it out. But it's better to just let the mystery pay out, especially when it's like movies and animations and stuff, because people going to come up with their own ideas anyway. Just let them do it. It's not going to hurt nothing. Like, see, they're still engaging with it. They're, you know, they have their theories, people have their beliefs. But the moment you solidify one, you're canceling everyone else's belief on what they believe happens, and they're no interested anymore. So I feel it's better to just let the mystery rock. Let people believe and feel how they want and come up with their own conclusions, because that's part of art. Like, imagine if Picasso or anybody that painted pictures went by, yo, well, this isn't the sky, this is the water evaporating into. No, just, you know, art speaks for itself. You can decide how you feel about it, or you can decide what character should have or what character should have done on your own time. That's fine too. That's all a part of the game. But with that, we are complete. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on this. We're gonna keep doing it. Peace.